Bonsoir. I'm Catherine A. Marsh, and I thought I would make another YouTube video just with a referral. Pardon the light on the background; it's above my piano. So anyhow, I have a lot of people who have asked me one way or another for a referral to a recommendation or a suggestion of studying French. I don't teach French. My family is both Scottish and French, historically, hereditarily. My ancestors resided in the chateau of Her Majesty Catherine de' Medici and her husband, who was the Roi of France, um, along with other nobility centuries before Versailles. So this is, I love French history, the history of France, and I grew up with a lot of Scottish and French education from my grandmother. So I'm really glad to be able to share this with anybody who subscribes to my YouTube channel. Do press the like button, give me a thumbs up for the evening for the soir. Bonsoir, if you didn't hear me say that to start with. It is a great privilege to be able to share this information with you. I started studying French in high school. I learned a lot of French in high school. I did not forget French I learned in high school. I had French classes at Salem College, advanced placement, which was okay. It was just kind of basic. The When I transferred to a university in another city in North Carolina, and I got opportunities to work on Broadway. I had started working in the film business in 1988. I did more film work. I did a lot of educational theater, educational films, student films. I got into film festivals and continued to study a lot more through the years. But French really wasn't part of my university studies because I had completed the requirement for French early on, so it wasn't required. So as a grown up, as a film business professional, I've always been fascinated by films made in other Pays-Bas, and especially to start with Italy. Believe it or not, I love Fellini films, Federico Fellini. I've seen every film he's ever made, probably. Maybe one film he made I haven't seen. And I studied Italian too, because the theater I used to be a member of went to tour in Italy every year and then went to Mexico. I finally got on the tour list, got invited to Mexico. So I had to start learning Spanish if I wanted to go to tour to Mexico. And then I decided not to go to Mexico, at which point I started becoming interested in France again. And so I've always loved Paris. I've always loved France's. Paris is the capital of France, so it's a very important city. It's not just a city. Paris is a phenomenon. So j'aime le français langue beaucoup. I love French history. It's fascinating to me, the history of France. So also, it's not an easy language to learn, but it's just like it's based on Latin. If you grew up in a parochial school and you had to learn Latin, French is not as difficult to learn if you learned Latin growing up as if you didn't. It's also a Romance language. It's part of Europe, obviously. Um, I study French. I've been studying French now for uh, a lot of the European customs I learned when I worked on Broadway, so it's just second nature to me. It has been for a really long time. Like the bees on the cheek is a greeting, is something, when you greet a colleague, is something I've been doing for a really long time anyway. It's not new to me, in other words. So if you would like to study French, whether it's because you enjoy traveling and you really like France, if it's because you'd like to be able to understand when people talk about the museums, like the Musée d'Orsay or the Louvre, or 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 if you want to learn about like the Théâtre Odéon, have a background in theater, so the Théâtre Odéon is a theater I really pay a lot of attention to and like a lot. I am more into the film business than theater currently, although I really uh, studied a lot and worked a lot in live theater before and music theater before getting back into the film business. I've been a member of SAG-AFTRA for about 5 years. I'm thrilled and excited. The SAG-AFTRA strike has come to a conclusion, which I haven't read all the contract details online, but I just got the good news. The strike is over. So we can all work again, which is great because even though I'm a réalisateur indépendant, which is French for an indie filmmaker, I'm an auteur, I'm a screenwriter, and I really love acting. I still enjoy acting a lot. Now, I don't want to do a horror movie. I refuse to do horror movies. I don't need to be chased through the woods by anybody in a film. So, whether I'm in a carriage or on foot or on horseback, either way, it's not going to be something I would volunteer to do. But otherwise, I'm very open when it comes to film, and I'm really interested. If you want to talk to someone, I have a wonderful agent in Paris who, Kathleen Deneuve happens to be my agent, who is really, Kathleen just completed the film Bernadette, where Kathleen played Madame Bernadette Chirac, the former First Lady of France, who was married to former President of France, Jacques Chirac, which I don't know when the film will get the United States distribution, but there's a film I really will attend whenever it's screened at an art house film theater aux États-Unis. So I've studied a lot of French online. And the instructor I strongly suggest registering for classes is Alexa. Learn French with Alexa. I know there are a lot of people who talk about Lingoda, but with Lingoda you have to pay up front, and if you don't register in time for the sprint, to get half of your money back, you're going to just pay through the nose for Lingoda, and it's going to cost beaucoup d'argent, and you're just going to have to just pay, and you probably won't get your money back, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But I didn't. I just registered with the membership on Learn French with Alexa, and there's a great website, site web called learnfrenchwithalexa.com. And it's the YouTube channel Alexa has is Learn French with Alexa. So you can Google, if you have a Roku TV like I have, you can just you can stream YouTube on your television, and you can watch French classes for free. The membership doesn't cost very much. I joined, so you get like a little loyalty croissant, you get all kinds of loyalty things, and it's the classes to start with. It's like, I've already learned this, I already know this, je connais ça. But then it gets into like the passé composé, the future plush, and those are the kind of things you might think you know, or you start to learn, but it's worth reviewing. So if you don't know the passé composé, if you don't know the future plush, if you don't know more French than just how to have a basic conversation, it's a good idea to just go ahead and register for the membership. It doesn't cost very much. It's online on YouTube, learnfrenchwithalexa.com. There's my recommendation. Whether you're French American like my family is, or you're from France, or you're from Italy, there are a lot of people who are film business professionals who are from Italy and work in the film business aux États-Unis, work in the film business in France. And it's a good idea. Oh, who wouldn't love to work for André Téchiné? Well, if you want to work for André Téchiné and be in one of his films, you're going to have to learn French. So, I mean, there's part of why I study French, so I could get cast in a French film working for a réalisateur I'd like to work for, like André Téchiné. Bonne nuit. Du click subscribe so you get future videos.